Old Hillbilly Joe here. How y'all doing today? I'm sitting here, I'm just doing all right today. Well, I'm going to share you a little bit of information about what's happening with the scriptures. Now, if I turn you and put you and bring you to Genesis 3:14. Remember before the angel Satan came down and persuaded Eve to eat the fruit, right? That God said, Jehovah said, Yahweh, right? Said, don't eat from this tree. Well, here is what it says in Genesis 3:14. The punishment, what God, Jehovah, Yahweh said is going to be the punishment for eating and eating from this tree and disobeying what God, Jehovah, Yahweh said. Now here, this is the punishment. Genesis 3:14. Okay. It says here, then Jehovah God Yahweh said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are the cursed one out of all the domestic animals and out of all the wild animals of the field. On your belly you will go, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. And he will crush your head, and you will strike him in the heel. Now, if you look at that, because Satan used the snake, okay, the serpent is a snake, and used a snake to talk through the snake, did Jehovah God Yahweh really punish Satan? The snake was already crawling on the belly already, okay? And, further down in the scriptures, it shows Satan talking about Job, but that's a different story. So he was still running around the earth, not on his belly. The serpent has already been rolling on, the snake has been rolling on its belly ever since, so it really isn't much of a punishment. Now, it keeps going here, Genesis 3:16. To the woman, he said, I will greatly increase the pain of your pregnancy. In pain you will give birth to the children, and your longing will be for your husband. There's that word husband. And he will dominate you. Now, there's male chauvinism there, saying that I'm going to dominate the woman because she was deceitful. Well, now, if you look at when in animals, you have a male and a female in animals, you're going to have pain no matter what when you give birth. But now, if Adam and Eve had listened to Jehovah God Yahweh and living in the Garden of Eden and never ever followed what Satan said, right? They could have many babies without pain in the Garden of Eden. But since God, Yahweh, Jehovah expelled them from the Garden of Eden, then they're going to have pain now. Okay? But before, in the Garden of Eden, they would have never had pain. A perfect world. No pain, no sorrow, no nothing like that. Now, he goes on to say, and to Adam, he said, because you listened to your so-called wife's voice, which was the helper's voice, and ate from the tree concerning what I gave you this command, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground on your account. In pain you will eat its produce all the days of your life. It will grow thorns and thistles for you, and you must eat the vegetation of the field. In the sweat of your face you will eat bread until you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and dust you will return. Now, with that statement there, it shows that Jehovah God Yahweh, when He got them out of the Garden of Eden, expelled them out of the Garden of Eden, that's why He has to grow His own food now. And everything that you grow, you have to eat. Now, outside the Garden of Eden, right, there's thorns and thistles and poisonous plants and everything like that because of Satan. But inside the Garden of Eden, you could eat everything inside, all the vegetations and everything like that was not poisonous, okay? And the animals, they were eating the plants too, but all the vegetation you could eat in the Garden of Eden because there was no poisonous plants or anything like that. Now, because they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, right? Satan causing poisonous plants to intermingle with the good produce plants that you can eat and everything like that. So then he had to learn what plants you could eat and what you could not eat, okay? But in the Garden of Eden, he had everything inside there for him and his helper Eden, okay? So they didn't have to provide for anything. They were already provided with everything there that would never hurt nor harm them, okay? Now, if you look at it, when he kicked them out and expelled them out of the Garden of Eden, all the complications now were put on Adam to grow his own vegetables and fruits and then amongst all the thistles and the thorns and all the poisonous plants out there now and everything like that, those are all growing too. That vegetation was growing because Satan had infested that area with bad plants. But in the Garden of Eden, you could eat all the plants and vegetables you wanted. There was no poisonous plants or anything like that. So now Adam has to go out and make his own food and grow his own crops and take care of his helper, Eve. Now, I'm going to go later on, and now we're going to go, but look at it. Satan, never did get a punishment, really. The snake was rolling on his belly. Eve now will have pain because she's out of the Garden of Eden, but if she was in the Garden of Eden, she would have never had pain. And Adam would have never had to work or anything like that because God, Jehovah, Yahweh, provided everything for him. My next discussion to you will be this. Well, I'll keep that a secret for you to come back, and you can find out what we're going to talk about next time. Okay, old Hillbilly Joe here, signing off. Till next time.